Well, one of the best and most dramatic retail store that I worked at was called Swarovski. It was a crystal store that kind of looked like a museum, but now it looks like a touristy a la carte shop. So things have changed a lot. I started working there after Y2K, so that really tells you my age. So, I mean, there was never a week without someone being let go, someone being written up, someone crying, someone getting mad and like throwing a fit. And I'm like, I I craved normalcy, and this always caused me anxiety, even though I was the top salesperson there. I still had some anxiety because it was just so dramatic, and I was not down for that. So I knew something went down the night before, and I was basically told by loss prevention that I was going to be the only one working there, and out of three people, and I'm going to need to open the store on my own. So I was a new mom. I had a 1 year old, and I was in traffic that was pre COVID, before people were allowed to work from home. So traffic from Gwinnett County to the Perimeter Mall was horrible. I had to get up 2 hours early every day just to get through the traffic. And it was literally a 5 mile stretch of road, but it was just deadlocked. So I get there, and the store opens at 10. I get there at the mall at 9:05, and I'm rushing to open the store because the phone's ringing. So I'm like, that's funny. The phone's ringing already. I'm thinking it's the guy from loss prevention. And no, it's the VP of North America, head honcho. I met him before. He seemed kind of nice, but kind of like he had kind of a mobster feel about him, which I was like, do all people from up north sound like they've watched Goodfellas too many times, or have they watched Godfather too many times? They just really liked it. Is that why they have that accent, or what? What is it? So he answers. He says, "Oh, I'm surprised that you picked up. I've been calling for the last 5 minutes, and you're expected to be there at 9 o'clock sharp. We um, and he started to say, I'm just trying to remember like everything he said, but he started to say, um, "This is why you'll never be in management. Um, Ken, um, your manager has already told me about your behavior, and he has already uh, told me about the write up he sent you for being late on a snow day, which is totally unacceptable. Um, I mean, you are just really a bad employee. I mean, we are just keeping you here." So he wanted to keep going. I interrupted him. I said, before you finish your thought, did you know Ken and the other employee that you approved and that you liked so much, these two men, were fired yesterday because they were caught stealing? They never thought that they would be caught. Everything was caught on camera. and loss prevention caught it, and now they're in jail. So I am the sole employee for this store. And it sounds like you are very unhappy with my performance. So what I can do right now is just leave your store. I'm already aware that the closest employee that you have access to is in Boca Raton, and she's already let me know that she's on vacation for the next 2 weeks. So she's not available for you. I don't know who's available for you to open the store, but I have my keys in my hand and I'm about to walk out this door. And because I don't tolerate anyone talking to me in this way, and I'm just going to lock this door. And I know that every day that this store is not open, that you are penalized by the mall very, very heavily, to the point where they would consider moving the store from this prime location. So you may want to give it some thought before we continue this conversation. And by the way, I would also, I'm going to discuss with you my compensation package, because working as if I'm working for 3 people and I'm one person, $12.50 is not going to cut it. I'm going to need a definite pay raise. So he backpedals. He's just starts stuttering. I didn't know that happened. And then he starts blaming his assistant VP. Like, he didn't let me know, no one notified him. And I was like, oh, so loss prevention didn't notify you? Oh my goodness. No one let me know. And oh, just forget about what I said. I'm so sorry. Just forget about that. And we could definitely talk about compensation for you. We could definitely talk about it. If there's anything that you need, and I will talk to the assistant about compensation for you, but if there's anything that you need from me, please feel free to call me. This is my personal line. So I am always here to support you, and I am so sorry that you are working by yourself. And I will get with the other employee that's in Boca Raton. I know she's on vacation for 2 weeks, but she's just going to have to cut it to see if she can come by and assist you. I said, that's really not an issue. I can run the store by myself. I've done it before. Oh, you've done it before? I was like, yes. Your store manager has left me by myself on many occasions, so I've ran the store. Oh, okay. So there's no need for you to tell the other coworker to cancel their vacation or shorten their vacation. But I definitely will need more compensation, and I will need to know that by the end of today before I continue to work here. Oh, yes. We will definitely talk about that. Is 5 o'clock good for you? Yeah, that'll work for me. Okay. Yeah, because my parents raised me to not tolerate any disrespect, especially if I am not disrespecting you. I don't care if you're the president of the company. I don't care if you're the president of the United States. You are not talking to me any kind of way. And I really liked this store, and I did end up getting triple my pay, plus 10% commission, plus a $500 bonus in figurines. Like, I could purchase either figurines or jewelry, but whatever I wanted, I could purchase at the $500. And everything was ringing up because I was an employee at the 50% off anyways. So I was really getting $1,000 worth of product. And I was getting this every 3 months. So I opened the store, and what's interesting about the store was beautiful. Like it was like a museum. And I'm an artist, and I really enjoyed working in something that looked like a museum. And so there were so many days I had to wipe the windows of the outside of the store and wipe the cases because so many people were like, "Oh my God, look at that! Oh no, look at that one! No, look at that! What's that?" And people would be mesmerized, literally mesmerized by the figurines. They were just could not believe it. And my favorite thing to do was to put them on these rotating pedestals that had a mirror on them. And our store had all fiber optic lighting, which, because the crystal was made out of almost 30% lead, with the fiber optic lighting, it would make like a rainbow effect. It was really cool. So all the figurines were cut by actual diamond cutters. They didn't trust anyone that had not been a diamond cutter for at least 10 years. They would not trust them with their work. So they had a lot of apprentices that were working their way up to be cutters of these stones. But they definitely didn't play that game. And they actually, the assistant VP, I'm not sure if this is even true, but some part of it sounds true. He says that they would do focus groups, and they would actually have a psychoanalyst there and a therapist there to analyze how someone acted when a particular piece of a figurine was shown to them. And they noticed that the more facets or cuts that were in the stones, the more pleasing or relaxed it caused the target audience to be. So if that particular figurine that a particular creator had been working on, didn't matter how long, if it wasn't causing this pleasing effect to that customer, that figurine was scrapped and a new one was immediately put in their replacement. And so we had so many people that were just spend hours looking at the store. They wouldn't come inside, and I would invite them in. Like, you can look, there's a clear glass case. You can look at it through both angles. Like, you can look at it from the inside, and you're like, no, if I come inside, I'll buy it. I know I'll buy it. And sometimes I would convince them to come inside because I knew they wanted to buy it. And I'd pull it out the case, and I would put my white gloves on to not put any fingerprints on the figurine. And they love that white glove effect. Well, we mainly did that to clean the fingerprints off. Like, they were allowed to touch it. But a lot of times they didn't feel comfortable, so I would get them white gloves. So we were both touching with white gloves. So anyhow, I would specially put the piece on the rotating spinner and just watch that customer's eyes just get fixated on that piece. And I made them get the figurine and the rotating spinner, because I was like, this is not going to have the same effect if you just don't take the spinner too. And the spinner would be like $100 minimum cost, $100 to $200. but it lasted a long time. It's battery operated, but the batteries would last a long time, so they could constantly keep it on. And like for example, we had a lot of collector's items, and a lot of the customers were very knowledgeable about these collections, and they would wait till the very day that that piece would arrive in the store. And sometimes they see that we're trying to put stock out, like I was trying to put the stock out for the collector's item, and we had a display piece that was purposely uh, damaged so that that could never be sold, so that that could always be the display. And so they would see me put the display piece out, and they'd watch me. Like there was like the store was on a second level. It was right above the food court, and I think right now it's being occupied by Michael Kors, but it had a premier location. So whenever someone came up on the escalator, all they saw was Swarovski and all these beautiful pieces. And so the collector's items started at $400 and would go up to $1,000. And I was dealing with a lot of people that were like uh, potential resellers, so the price did not matter to them because they were just going to jack up the price on their website anyway. But uh, I knew the resellers were like our primary customer. I made a lot of money off the resellers. I had a clientele book full of resellers. And I made sure the piece had all its parts. I would carefully inspect it. Some figurines had over 150 parts. And I'd spend at least 15 to 30 minutes analyzing that piece to make sure every part was there and nothing was broken off, because it's crystal and it's very intricate. And I would not sell a piece if it was any slight damage. I would put it in a damage bin. It was trash. So basically what they would just do is remelt down that crystal material, build it back up, and then just make whatever else that they wanted to make. And I respected that company. I respected Swarovski because they had been in the business for a long time. And they were even they were doing well during the Great Depression, which I was very surprised. But what they did is that I believe they had a military contract, and they sold scopes and binoculars that they would specially make for the military. And Swarovski is the kind of company that they don't care what economy or what is being speculated about the economy. They don't care if it's 9/11. They don't care if it's a housing market issue. They don't care if it's a COVID issue. They're going to get their coins. They're going to make their money. They're very dynamic. They're into everything. Everything that can use their technology in their glassware, in their glass making or their crystal making, they're in it. And so there's a lot of businesses that people don't even know about that they're involved in indirectly. But yeah, it kind of got old after working by myself for about 6 months with no day off. And when I asked about me being promoted, they said I was too young, which at the time I was 24. And they also said, well, you have a young baby at home. We don't know if you can work with the schedule. Now, I've been there every day, 12 hours a day for 6 months, open to close for 6 months, every single day. Okay, my baby had to be taken care of by somebody, right? And that was done. And I was there. So they brought in a new manager, and she knew nothing about jewelry. She knew nothing about Swarovski. She came from a furniture store. She knew nothing. So I had to train her because the company said, we trained you, even though I trained myself by studying any book I could find, because this was pre-internet boom period. So I'm studying every Swarovski history book that I can find at the library to learn more about the pieces. They did not train me. But they said, you work here and we did pay you to work for us. So you have to train her. So I trained her the best I could. And I see why they liked her, because she was a how do I say this in a nice way? She was a yes person. Like, no matter what they were saying, it was yes, yes, yes. And she never questioned, even if it could have been unethical, she never questioned what they were saying. She was just like, yes, yes, okay, definitely, we'll do it, okay. And I would ask questions because I was like, I want to know what I'm agreeing to. I want to know what I'm putting my signature on. I want to know. I would like to know. And because I asked those questions, from the beginning, they assumed that because I was from the South and they were from the North, that I was going to be really slow and dumb. They don't understand I was raised by Northerners, that I was raised by New Yorkers. So I already knew whatever kind of ploy or con or anything they were trying to slip and slide my way, I would catch it. I was like, no, not going to happen. And with her, she just agreed. She was like, yes, 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 whatever, yes. And and then there were other people that we had to hire, and I helped train them too. So there was one person there, and she was Russian. And at first I thought she was really sweet, but she was really condescending. Like, she was repeating things that I had already told her, that I told her, and was like repeating back to me. And I was like, I know. What the heck? People were calling me at the mall. They're calling me the Crystal Lady because I had been there so much. People did not trust the other employees to help them because they had seen me so many freaking times that they knew I knew what I was talking about. They knew I was not playing. So I had a 500, and I'm not kidding you, I had a 500-page clientele book. 500 pages. And I called and I followed up with those people relentlessly. Any collectible accessory, collectible pieces, I would write down what pieces they had. And some people had 4 to 6 pages of pieces that they had purchased from me. And I was trying to connect accessories and other parts to it. And my highest sale was 30,000. I sold these turtles that were 30 pounds each. These crystal turtles, they're beautiful. And I sold 3 of them in one day. This guy was, we got a lot of tourists, and this guy was just like, I love those turtles. How many do you have? I'll take all that you have. And I was like, 3. Okay, great. We can do this. And I gave him a little bit of a discount because one was a display, and he was adamant about getting one fresh out the box, one that no one had touched. And I said, because this particular piece was not really touched, because a lot of people couldn't afford a $10,000 turtle figurine. And so not a lot of people asked about that piece when they saw the price. But I understand what you mean. It's outside the case. It's been in the air. Someone possibly has touched it. So I'll give you a discount on that one. And it was a little discount. It was like $400. But he was happy with that. And people that I worked with were getting mad because every person that came in, I called them in. They knew me by name. And they didn't like that. They're like, give us a chance to sell something. I'm like, help a customer, build rapport, be a salesperson. I'm not here to, I've trained you to be a salesperson. I'm not here to give you, this is not a nonprofit organization. Build your book. And there were some weeks because the manager was new and the associates were new that I couldn't take off. So there's still some weeks where I was working like 2 weeks straight for these people to be trained and exposed to the store. So I did that. And then I took a day off, and I come back to work the next day, and there's a page taken out of my book. And I knew my book like I know my Quran. I knew that book back and forth. So I knew it. I said, who took Sarah Hanson's page out my book? Everybody got quiet. Everybody got quiet. Like, I don't know what you're talking about. I was like, someone needs to answer. So who did that? And then the person, the Russian girl, comes up to me and says, oh, I did that. She's my customer now. I helped her and you were off. So she's my customer now. And there's nothing you can do about it. I said, I've cultivated her. I called her. And my ID number was known by the manager. So you could have rung it up under my name. You knew that was my customer. You can't just simply take a customer out of my book and just claim it as your customer now because you helped her one time after I've helped her for 6 months. And she goes, I'm not going to argue with you. I am just telling you that it's over. And you're just going to have to accept it. So I laughed. I was like, okay. You've been here for 2 weeks. Girl, I know the store in and out. I know this mall in and out. I know the people in this mall. I know the management in this mall. They know me. I know the customers. And so I just called the district manager. And I just said, look, I have already done what you have asked me to do. I have trained a supervisor, even though you didn't give me that position. You totally slighted me. I've trained a supervisor for you, and I trained your new staff. I spent 2 weeks straight doing that, working day in and day out, answering their questions, their inquiries, showing them everything, where everything is located. I've done that. I've done my part. This girl has just gotten here, and she's taken one of my customers. It was a $5,000 sale. I want that sale back under my name, and that customer's information back in my clientele book. And I also told her that I just found out that this Russian girl is living with the in the store manager's home. And I said, that's a conflict of interest here. So the store manager is not going to say anything because she's going to reap the benefits of that commission when she gets paid the rent. Do you see how that's unethical, or how that does not compute for me? That does not make sense. And if it's not back under my name by tomorrow, I will just go to the assistant VP and ask him. But it needs to go back under my name because I earned this. I did what you told me. We had a deal. That was it. That sale went back under my name so fast that and the store manager was like apologizing profusely. And then threw that girl under the bus and said, I told her not to take that out of your book. I told her. But my hands were just tied. I was on the phone in the office, and I'm just trying to do this training thing. And I was like, if you want this book so bad, I literally gathered the employees in that store. I said, if you want this book this bad, if you want all the pages in this book and you want me to share it with you, then I'm going to need $30,000 because I have $100,000 minimum of clientele in this book that I've cultivated over 6 months. So, and they were from the tiniest pieces, like a baby bottle, which was so adorable, tiny crystal baby bottle. One customer like that to a customer that wanted an $18,000 handbag that had Swarovski crystals all over it. That was my range. Everybody I talked to, they were in my book because I was going to make them mine. Anyone I talked to, they were going to be a lifetime Swarovski customer. They were going to like this store as much as I did. They were going to be a lifetime customer. No, I was not going to take no for an answer. That was it. And I looked at the manager. I was like, I'm serious. Ask your boss to give me $30,000 for this book, and I will spread out this book to everybody in the store. And she got real quiet. And she turned around to the other associate. She's like, you need to work like Aisha, and you need to build up your own books. And she does get a lot of customers because she's built them up over 6 months. Do not take her customers. If you see one of her customers and she is off, put it under her name. That's it, period. And that was the end of that conversation. But the job just got exhausting. I got exhausted. And I wanted to learn fine jewelry. So, and there was still drama there. Like, there was still drama. And I got tired of the drama. So I left and I went to Zales. And for 4 months, there was several employees that kept coming to the store and begging me to come back. Please come back. But the store manager never said, please come back. So I was like, why isn't she saying anything? I mean, what does she have to lose? Her pride? What does she have to lose? They knew I knew the store. And when I left, those customers were like, I am not coming here. Where is she? Customers were coming to me at Zales going, where are you? You need to work something out and come back to the store. And I was like, there's nothing I can work out. I'm burned out. I've dealt with it for too long. I'm not going to do it. I'm sorry. They're like, well, we're just gonna have to go online. And there were still people that wanted me to consult them, and I would consult them for a fee because they just want me to consult them about the collection. But it was like the best place to work and the worst place to work at the same time, because for Swarovski, money did not matter to them. They were just like, my pay was low in the beginning, but I left there making $30 an hour, which is pretty good for a very small retail store. And I took a $10 pay cut. Like, I went to Zales and I made good sales there, and I only averaged out $20 an hour. So I took a pay cut. But it was less drama. It was so much less drama. So that's my story, and I'm sticking to it.